listening to DORiS Radio.
You're listening to DORiS Radio on WHCP.
You're listening to DORiS Radio on WHCP.
Hi, welcome back. This is Katie Clendaniel, and you're listening to WHCP LP 101.5 Community Radio in Cambridge, Maryland. A great place to be.
Hey.
Did I do that right?
Awesome. That was perfect, Katie. Perfecto. We were just sitting here discussing some Star Trek, Trekkie news, and I love with this set of questions from this season. I love going back and hearing people's early stories, and then seeing how that connects to their lives now today. And I just mentioned a while ago about how you were like a mini anthropologist even as a child, and going about. You talked about your interest in reading the Star Wars books and the different worlds and different time periods, and like just having that interest in different in cultures and historical fiction even as a small child. And so I'd like to hear about that. What were some standout stories for you that stood out in the Star Wars realm?
Well, you said it the best. I think that is the best summary of my life I think I've ever heard or ever even thought of. But yeah, I mean, definitely. I think you said it. The cool thing about Star Wars and sci-fi is it's very anthropological, and there's so much coming back to me right now, Marco, about things that I explored when I was younger, and actually George Lucas, he was really into Joseph Campbell and
the Hero's Journey.
Yes, he wrote about mythology and he dissected it, and that is a large part too of the anthropological experience, understanding our world, our worldviews, and sci-fi is the same thing. It's just applying it to a fantasy at this point, but about and it's what's our role in the cosmos. That's what Joe Campbell was exploring, and we explore that as human beings through stories, right? And that took the shape of myth. And fiction that we write, and it's the human experience, but also what does that mean? What is our purpose? What are we here for? And they were answering those questions. That's what George Lucas was doing. He took the hero's journey and he wrote Star Wars. And he's produced a ton of stuff over the years. I
stan George Lucas. Him and Coppola. Francis Ford Coppola, Godfather. Right around that time, the Zoetrope, they did like Outsiders, American Graffiti, all those cool, like I don't know, I love that whole time frame of movies. Was super dope, and that the early Star Wars movies, like seeing that the hero's journey get incorporated. That's been, we were talking about Pride and Prejudice earlier. That's something that I feel like is all another thing that gets reimagined a lot. The hero's journey, we see it used in these blockbuster films a lot nowadays, and a lot of those, tropes that they have carried through were started in that time frame, in that late 70s, early 80s string of movies that they were putting out. The Zoetrope grew.
Yeah, it's fun to explore, and I'm a big fan of old movies too. If you can imagine that. So there's some really fantastic. Everything in our lives is about storytelling, and I think that's, I think we can see some symptoms in our society about, how we're somewhat limited now in terms of our personal storytelling or hearing other people's stories. And now we have social media. That's some people's outlet, but also it's also a place where there's, and also a prison. Yeah, because it's not happening in person, right? And so you're not looking somebody in the eye and having an emotional connection. So, it's interesting. I feel fortunate that, I've experienced the world without that. And it's done a lot of really fantastic things for us. Like, I can stay in touch with a lot of people that, I would probably, be writing letters to back in the day, or, let's say an email, and we still do those things, but, social media, I can see a lot more of their day-to-day
Easier
life.
to stay connected.
Yeah. And so, anyway.
It's got its pros and its cons.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and we have to find the balance.
Yeah.
I think we have to find the balance, so.
Speaking of balance, our overarching theme this season has been mental health. And so I'd love to know, what are some ways that you practice, keeping your balance and maintaining your mental health in your personal life?
So that's a really great question. I definitely have been working on that a little bit more seriously. I was the executive director for Cambridge Main Street for a little over 4 years, and I left that position, and really part of that decision was about finding balance and spending more time with family and things like that. But so since the pandemic, I've been walking a lot more. So walking is great. So that's my time to listen to music, or listen to a book, or listen to nothing, or spend time listening to my daughter if she comes with me, or talking with my husband if he comes with me, or just having space. And then
creating that space, being intentional about it.
Yeah. And I'm listening to books a lot more, and trying to read more. That's how I relax. And then I'm going and doing a lot more things that I want to do. So I started hiking again, and that's my communion in a lot of ways. Like that time, it's totally therapeutic for me. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I wish I could do it a lot more than I get to do it, but walking's the alternative, and for right now anyway. So, and then I'm doing a few yoga sessions every now and then with a group up in Federalsburg, but that's less physical, and that's more reflection. I think
that's
we have to have
reflection.
that. Yeah. So, and it's a way of centering yourself. So it's not always the physical, but it's the mental for me. And then everything else will follow. So for my mental health, those are some things that I'm practicing currently, and would like to continue. But it is a challenge to create space in your life to make sure you're doing those things. Yeah. So.
Dang, man. Tell me about standout hiking experience that comes to mind on the fly.
Stand out. I think our struggles are what stand out, right? It's not the good days.
You're right.
It's the really bad days. And you don't know how you made it through. And then later on, you're like, yeah, that was awesome.
That's where reflecting can be good. You can see how you were able to overcome.
Yeah. And so that's why I've learned to seek out challenges, because at the end of the day, they, if you can make it through, which you usually can, one way or the other, then those are the things that you remember the most, and or that you take pride in, So I love a good challenge. But the first time I ever really went hiking was when I went to New Zealand the first time, and I had not done any hiking, and it was very challenging.
Dang, man.
And I did not think I could do it, and I was definitely I felt very hopeless in the moment. And when you go with a group too, and you've probably experienced this, you might feel a little bit of pressure to like perform or keep up,
keeping
or
pace and all that.
keeping pace, or and I just went on a trip for my birthday, and we went. It was a guided trip, which was, I highly recommend it. It was a lot of fun. But the guide asked us before the trip. He said, what are your goals for this trip? And my goal was to have a positive attitude and a positive mental state during the whole trip. And that's a little bit harder than you might think.
I was going to say, how did you do?
I did good. I was really happy with my mental state during that hike because it's really easy to beat up on yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and I was the only woman in the group, and you know, I'm not fast at anything, but I was on pace and I didn't allow myself to beat up on myself or put myself under pressure, and I just focused on me and putting my, you know, one step in front of the other and not worrying about anybody else, and was really happy with the way that things went. So it's not always easy, and I saw other people struggle because they would hit a roadblock and things weren't what they expected, or some people were talking about bailing after the second day, and you know, because you're in a good mental state, you're able to help other people around you too. So we were able to support that person. So we really had a good team by the end of it. We were like, they were supporting me when I was down, like when I was like physically struggling and I was unsure of myself, and like that's the way it's supposed to be. Yeah. Right? So yeah, that's those are the standout moments for me. Yeah.
I think that's major, you know. I think there's a lot we can take away from that, even just for, you know, taking care of your mental health. Like that's you can applying that in to so many emotions, and that, or times that you could feel those similar emotions in our day-to-day lives, just in like work and family and all this other. And it's like
absolutely
having that ability to, you know, go in and reclaim control over your emotional state is something that we don't get a lot of practice in. And you know, I think
it's really easy to feed the negative, and I think we have a disposition to do that. You know, when we're struggling with something, and that is what I find about hiking in general, is that for me personally, it's an opportunity to practice those skills, you know, that are gonna get me through a challenge or something like that. So it's been a really great thing for me personally. Yeah.
Epic, man.
And we're gonna do that too, right?
Yes, we're going hiking. What is a place that is on your list that's you like a must cross off hiking trail?
Well, Iceland's on my list.
Iceland? Okay.
Yes.
You got a spot there? Like
no, they're big outdoors people, so they have
spot.
huts. Yeah, they have huts. There's like a hut to hut there. I don't have a specific trail yet, but like, yeah, you're hiking in the glaciers and stuff. That's on my list. Okay. Yeah.
I want to do that too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's epic.
Yeah.
Iceland.
Yeah.
What pushed you to Iceland? What appeals to you about that place?
Iceland is the land of fire and ice, right? I guess I'm drawn to volcanic islands. I don't know. They're very dramatic, you know, and different from the Eastern Shore. You know, maybe that's it too. But
I love the drama. That's been another reoccurring theme here. Is the drama. You got the Mr. Darcy and Elizabeth and the Outlanders and the hiking and that's the studying of culture, the drama of fiction, but that being observant. All of these three things I see a lot in everything that you do. And I would love to know, for our final question today, what is a source of love for Katie Clendaniel?
Source of love is definitely the outdoors for me. That's where I regenerate, you know, and then when you regenerate, you know, they talk about your love tank. Remember that?
Gotta keep
your
it
love
full.
tank.
Yes.
You got to find what fills up your love tank, and it's not always another person. You know, so it's, to me, it's the
Going
world.
outside keeps your cup full.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and meeting people and having, you know, that's definitely filling up my love tank.
Overcoming.
Yeah.
So, for our last, I guess, it's not a question. Have you complete the statement? Someday I'll. Someday I'll.
Oh, someday I'll finish working on my house and enjoy it.
Hey, you spoke it and manifested.
Someday
It's coming.
it will happen.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Katie, it's been so great catching up with you on the air today.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to our book club.
Yeah.
I can't wait to discuss some more books from you and learn about what you've been reading.
Yeah.
And we're going to go hiking.
Yep.
And I can't wait to check out The Witch Trials by Anne Rice.
Yes.
You know, so it's always a bop. Thank you so much for sharing your light with us. And
Yeah, thank
until
you.
next time.
Yeah, thank you.
See ya. Hey.